Okay, it's a little after 7. What we got here is the grave. There's still water in there to make it dig easier. You know. So probably another 6 inches, another foot. And like I said, yeah, that's the way to go in your sleep. You know, no ants on them or anything like that. That's good. Okay, Gumbo. Number 14 here. Summer Cocktail doing some vlogging. Okay, you know what we're going to talk about here? We're going to talk about intercultural stuff in existence. I'm almost done with my backlog from 2010. I just mentioned it in the piece I just did. Nice little sun out there. Yesterday was 134 in Death Valley, record high. Well, that's not here. We're not that far out here. I probably mentioned this at some point along the lines. I've done many vlogs, so can't be too sure. Probably mentioned before intercultural phenomenon with going from one culture to something radically different. I'm supposed to go on the vacation to France, right? You go on the vacation to France and you're gonna feel different. And I looked it up pretty recently because I studied in communication. I actually took a class called Intercultural Communication at Chaffey College in Cucamonga out there. Good old Cucamonga you. Anyhow, this is my loose paraphrase of what it is. As you go from a culture to another one, and there's typical stages, and the first one I think is awe. You know, you're fascinated. Like, wow, man, look at that Eiffel Tower, and wow, man, they're drinking wine on a sidewalk or whatever might be going on. I don't know. And wow, man, the French women are so nice and everything. And then eventually, if you stay long enough, you get homesick. And you start hating everything that's different, man. Like, fuck, man, I can't plug in my hairdryer. What's wrong with this place? Or, what the fuck's wrong with this hotel? God damn, this is not the Four Seasons, and I got it crap in this fucking piece of shit thing, or, you know, right? There's these stages. And then there's a stage, I want to say it's called negotiation, but I can't remember necessarily which stage is which and how it's called. It's been a while. Eventually, you kind of reconcile what you know you expect in life and what they have to give, and you know you learn how to get along. You know, I think that's what it is. And then you go home. And you assimilate. And the thing with me was I went and immersed myself in certain cultures. My dad was a union guy. IBEW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Eventually I did an internship with the AFL-CIO in Seattle in '97. My sister's IBEW, my oldest one is. And I went, I worked at a place in Ontario that was non-union, and I saw them fucking fling people out like goddamn flies, you know? Like, get out of here, you had no rights, you're no one, you know? And it wasn't like that at the beginning. And I immersed myself in this liberal school, Pitzer College, with these union programs. You know, they worked with the United Farm Workers. I got awarded there, and supposedly I was given some roses from Jackson because they signed a contract with the United Farm Workers, and I planted them with one of the professors out there. And when I graduated in 2011, he told me, yeah, they're still over there by the Grove House, just east of the Grove House. And sometimes you go to a culture, it doesn't happen too often, where you don't ever really come back. You never really reassimilate. Let's say you go to Russia or something, like Snowden did, you know, the NSA guy. Some people leave their culture and wind up hating the place where they came from. And I thought that might be me my whole life. I went to Venezuela in '98, and I looked at our so-called lifestyle out here. I'm like, this is all bullshit. This is all bullshit, man. You know, how little we're paid, how we get fucking flung around. You know, these fucking tract homes that cost $250,000 or $750,000. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right over here, you can see a house. If I zoom in correctly. See those houses? Okay, I don't know if you can see it. See that house right there? That's the beginning of tract homes. They're called Monologo. And when in the 2000s, when they were first made, I think it was around the time of the housing bubble, and they were $750,000 right there. And you know, the ruthlessness of capitalism, where entire towns just get burnt like a light bulb, you know, Flint, Michigan, or whatever. It's like, hey man, you guys kicked ass. You're great. Here's decent fucking union pay for now. Oh no, sorry man, it's time for us to pat ourselves on the back and make money. Your whole town shut down, you know. Right? I watched Downsize This for the first time this past week because, you know, I got on Netflix less than a year ago. It was from 1997. It's funny to watch because, well, fuck, that was the beginning of a lot of crap, man. You know, as far as what I saw in life. But I would have considered myself conservative, actually, for a lot of my youth. The furthest left I would have said I was up until the time I went to Pitzer in Claremont was moderate or a centrist or something. One of the professors or teachers from Chaffey that wrote a recommendation taught that intercultural class. And in her office, before I started going to Pitzer, I showed her my essay, you know, my entrance essay. And it had to do with cancer research. And I was going to put PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, because I did a paper in my ethics class, and I did a speech in one of her classes, in her public speaking class. I wound up doing the Humane Society of the United States with, you know, animals. Look at that poopy. Is he an animal? There he goes. Anyhow, and I remember what she said to me. She goes, "We both know you're more conservative than this. But, hey man, we're all people. We're all people, and let's give it a try." And I never had... Hold on. The lighting's not really good for this. It's sunlight. See the goatee? I never had a goatee until sometime around, I'd say 94 is when, you know, I might have first gave it a try, and by the time I got to Pitzer and started classes in 95, then, you know, I remember telling one of my buddies too. He kind of went psycho eventually, and we had a falling out. But I told my buddy, "Hey man, they don't know me, and I'm gonna do everything I can to fucking figure out what the left is all about, you know. And some of it's good, but some of it is very appealing on the surface, and underneath, it's not worth a shit. You know, some of it is laced with festivity and music and pretty girls, and it's almost like you know, you go to a used car place with, you know, these fucking inflated animals and dancing and shit, you know what I'm talking about. And great commercials. Yeah, Friday, 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 you know. And then he wound up getting the lemon. That's just part of life. But as far as this whole intercultural thing, oftentimes you come back to where you were, you know, your vacation in France, whatever it was, and you might change a little, you know. I wear, this is hypothetical, now I wear a beret, you know, I wear a beret when I go to parties or some shit. That's just hypothetical. Or you might go to, I don't know, live with people out in Arizona, and, you know, they make beads and sell them out there or something, and now you wear beads once in a while, or, hey, that's alright, man. That's alright, dude. So, anyhow, where are we at here? 10 minutes? Oh, we're at 10 minutes. We didn't get to existence. Okay, that's it, man. Gumbo. 14. Okay. The term 6 feet under, right? It's standard for humans to be buried 6 feet under. So I figure maybe half of that, 3, maybe 4 feet, is what ought to suffice right in here. It's coming along. Okay, I'm a cocktail vlogging here. Doing some vlogging. My dad's about to leave. Right there. That's the tail end of his car. There's his car right there. Gonna pick up some food right here. Dogs are eating meat bones right now. Dogs are eating meat bones. Hey, Booby! This guy's deaf, I'm pretty sure. He doesn't hear me. Booby! Maybe, anyway. Got some milk bones there, and got some, a sack of food here. See out there? Walking with a sack of food here. Balance on my shoulder. There we go. Dog's gotta eat something, right? I might barely have enough to pay my internet mobile hotspot bill. I might. So I might go out there. There we go. There's some dog food right there. So I might go out there and pay the bill. Everything else is going alright. He's still there. So, okay then. Party on.